So welcome back to my channel, Simply Eric Vlogs. I know it's been a minute, but this has been long overdue, and I wanted to make sure that this particular video that I'm recording right now is the very next video, because this guy has gone out of his way to be very welcoming, and basically you've known probably by now, either through my social media or here on YouTube, that I had a previous sit-down interview with one of the trainers here, but now here's the owner of the franchise, Ben Irwin of F45 in North Sunnyvale. Thank you for coming on the show.
No worries.
So now the reason why I'm having a little more of like an interview kind of a vlog show today is basically because he's opened up his facility to help me better my health, and health is very important, key to everybody. We know the number one thing that you have to do to improve your health is to get that sleep. That's the first and foremost that you can do, and you can do that every day at home. So the second thing is to get your body active in any way and method. With my personal history of attending gyms, I would go and be motivated for a while. It's probably normal with somebody. You go motivated, and you either don't find the culture there at the gym not to be the correct gym, or you don't find that you find excuses not to go, or like if you have a gym that's like, say, like 2 blocks away that you can walk to, you say, oh, it's just there, I'll go and do another time. But in this case, this particular location, Sunnyvale, as relation to where I live, is completely across the valley, almost halfway across the valley from where I live. But what's more important, after doing maybe 1 or 2 classes, maybe even 3 classes, I would say, just to be fair, a little bit more fair, that I found that this particular style of workout is very entertaining. And one thing is that it's a very positive culture. Everybody here is friendly. And the reason why. Another reason why I'm having, because he's going to be helping me with my lifestyle change, and as you see, I've been doing #lifestyle change, and you've probably seen also a lot of the supplements I've been working with whether it be One Up Nutrition, Evogen, and Ghost. I support a little more Evogen because they're local, they're Campbell, California, southwest of San Jose. So, but now to get to F45, and I'll get to this paper here in a minute. What can we, I guess, let's start with the history. How did you first get involved in the F45 realm?
In the realm, so my F45 journey started, I was working on cruise ships as a personal trainer, so I went and did that for a bit. When I came home back to Australia, I was living at the time, I was kind of just looking at where I was going to work next, and kind of came across the F45 gym that was hiring in my area. So I went and just applied for a job and got a job there and started working as a trainer. This is about end of 2015. And then kind of within about 2 or 3 months, I picked up most of the shifts at that gym, became the manager there, and then actually bought out one of the 50% owners there. Became an owner at that gym in the northern beaches of Sydney, Australia. And then ran that gym for 2.5 years, and then decided to come across here. My girlfriend is American, so it all kind of merged its way here, and then just ended up over here opening up this studio.
So as you may tell, F45 is actually started and headquartered in Australia. That's where they've sprung their growth there, from there, where it was born. And then their headquarters here, to make it more localized to stateside, is what Southern California is their headquarters
LAX,
for. They have a new headquarters that just opened up in downtown LA. I have an acquaintance that just started training there too. He's a coach there too, like yourself. But basically, so Australia is where its worldwide headquarters, and then the state headquarters is in Los Angeles in Southern California. So let's go back a little bit further, because a lot of people, personally, and for a lot of people out there, they want to, how'd you get your education, and what qualifies you to become a trainer, and what certifications you may have?
Yeah, so I have a sporting background, forever playing basketball and Australian rules football. So naturally, kind of when I finished high school, I was still playing sport a lot, and it kind of just fell into place that I knew I should move into being a personal trainer. And so back in Australia, I did what was called a Cert 3 and a Cert 4 in fitness back there. So I completed that, and then after completing that, I went back to university and did a Bachelor of Health Science in Sport and Exercise Science. So I've done that, and then also did a Strength and Conditioning certification with ASCA, which is the Australian Strength and Conditioning Association. So I've kind of done a few different levels of it and whatnot as well, all just based off because I had good interest.
Yeah, and if you may know that a lot of Australians over there in Australia, that can translate to here in America, even though it's not done with the American companies like ACE or NSAM. But it's still the same thing because it's still the human body. But yeah, so to check out when you go to any gym, no matter what, if it's here at F45 or any other gym that you want to work out, and you're going to involve yourself with a personal trainer that gets hands-on, like F45 is a little more hands-on, is to make sure that your trainer is certified and they do have the credentials, because they are going to be messing with your overall health and well-being and your safety. So, and that's one thing I worked into when he first offered. I did look into him a little bit more, and I also looked into Ryan, which is one of the managers here and trainers here, and they're both certified and they're both into there. And another thing is that they listen to you. And if a trainer, no matter who, even if they are certified, if they don't listen to you, then they're not really someone that you need to be dealing with. So going forward now, you came here stateside. I guess we transitioned now. You did your little Australian background there, coming from cruise trips to owning your own gym in Australia. Or we should say, actually, it's more of a studio than a gym. If you think a gym is where you have all those machines and free weights and all that stuff. They have some free weights here, kettlebells, and a couple of bikes and row machines here, but mainly it's a studio here at F45, because they change up every day, and that's what's good about it. But what caused you to come over here, or how soon coming over here to stateside and making your residency here, did you start looking for a location and then finally say, okay, I want this location here, particularly in North Sunnyvale?
Yeah, so it started, I made the decision still while I was in Australia, that I was going to move over here specifically to open an F45 studio. So I'd begun looking at various places around the country. I looked at everywhere that was just a direct flight from Sydney. So I looked in LA, looked in Northern California, even looked in Texas to a point as well, and kind of was looking at how many studios were spread out across the areas, and there wasn't many here. So I kind of figured this was going to be the spot. So pretty much flew over to come and have a look at a few buildings. Yeah. This is before my visa was approved or anything like that, so I had an idea of what the areas were. When I then moved over here, I still I kind of came over first a couple of times on the travel visa for travel, more or less to have a look for some spots and just double check that it was the right decision. Once that was all done, and we kind of started negotiating, or I started negotiating on this space, and it was more just finding it's 5,100 square feet, so it's one of the biggest F45s in the country, and the deal was right, so I couldn't say no to it. So that's how it essentially came into being in Sunnyvale, and then went back, got my visa because I had where my business was going to be, and then moved over here in April, like officially, really on the visa in April 2018, and we opened in August of 2018, right here in Sunnyvale. Yeah,
so that means you could, if you do the math real quick, he's had his 1-year anniversary just recently, just about a month ago. Actually, yeah, about a month that we're filming this. We're actually recording this. We don't do film anymore. So I guess after here, the location here at Sunnyvale, if you could look about it from a marketing standpoint on how you're going to reach out now and advertising to get clients to come into this location. It's one of these communities where it's like below an apartment complex. So there's like apartments above us, and there's plenty. If for that thing, that's a good location, because if you don't reach out to anybody outside the apartment complex, you know the apartments right here are a good enough population to sustain you for if they were to all come downstairs and use it instead of using the in-house apartment gym kind of thing. You know, they can probably do that and whatever. But this is the place that you want to be in. But how did you go about reaching out to marketing, to reaching people and get the word out that, hey, F45, we're here and we're here to stay, and we want to help you out?
Yeah, we used a business consultant, so to speak, a gentleman by the name of Jacques, who runs a company that essentially is, his company is all about helping gyms with pre-opens and getting the interest and whatnot, and kind of giving us the ideas of what to do marketing-wise and whatnot from there. So he really helped set the tone with what to do. He'd opened over 40 F45 gyms before us, so it was confidence in that. And just kind of, worked through the crash course on, Facebook advertising for, Instagram, Facebook, all the rest of it, the kind of content to post and the way to kind of build hype around it. A lot of it's done through social media these days as well anyway, because people hang out there more than they hang out anywhere else, and it's free. So that's where we got most of it going from there. We did a couple of, I think we went up to, we did a couple of like Summerfest type type things, like your little kind of wine festival type things where you can get a booth. So we did a little bit of that as well. But most of the we're here now and we're ready to go all comes through social media for us.
And speaking of which, we're doing this on social media, YouTube, and also on my Facebook watch page. Basically, that's how he reached out to me. It was via IG. I believe I posted a stories about something fitness related, whether it be a supplement or whether a product I was taking or whatever, or trying out at the time. And somehow he got a hold of it and saw the posting. He reached out to me via DM. That's the okay way to slide into the DMs, but as you put it that way. But a DM is more than just sliding into DMs. It's actually a way to contact people on a private download that you don't want to post in the comment section of the post and have everybody else that's friends of there to be able to read that. So it's a private messaging system. And basically he just reached out to me. And then like I said, I had to I said, okay, well, let me check out F45 first. I checked out F45. I kind of heard of it through another person, one of your sister mates there in Australia, Brooke Evers, because I heard of her basically more so because of her DJing, because I'm a former DJ myself back in the early 2000s, and now I call them CJs because they all use computers now. They don't use turntables anymore. So I heard it through her, and then of course Brooke is also a Ghost athlete, a legend, or I guess you could call it, and I did some more stuff with Ghost when I was doing Ghost, and it just kept on going, and I said, okay, let me check it out. So I came here, I checked out a couple classes, that I was going to do for my work schedule, which was like Tuesday, Thursday kind of thing. So I came here and I checked out full section of class, the full 45 minutes of each, once on each night, just to see how things were going. And then I had a little more sit-down conversations with Ben, and also with a little bit with Ryan, and then and that's how you can do it. If you're going to go into a new environment, that's how you do it. You could just introduce yourself and see how things are going before you just launch yourself into it. And I just decided, okay, now it's time to get dirty and try a couple of classes. So I did, and I got my butt kicked, of course, and made this guy laugh at what I was trying to do. But anyways, it was very exhilarating. As you can tell, I'm still here, and we're actually recording this before an afternoon class, lunch class, that I'm going to be part of with Ryan. He's going to be coaching it. And I just fell in love with it. So when you come here to classes, what can you expect? Like, what type of classes are actually involved in the classes, and how do they work to keep you interested and keep you fresh-minded about the classes?
Yeah, look, the way that F45 came about as well, it's built on its three main pillars, which is innovation, motivation, and results. So in terms of what we try to do here with every session, regardless of what the session is we have our F45 TV system, which allows us as coaches to not have to go through the whole we don't have to remind you every time you get to a station of what you've got to do. You're able to get instant feedback of being able to see what you're going to do for that point. And we also have heart rate monitors and whatnot as well. So that's kind of the innovation part. Motivation bit being that we have 2 trainers on every session. Yeah. We do that to make sure then that you always feel like you are still getting a personal training experience to a degree, without just feeling like you're one of 30 in a class with one trainer up the front. And then the motivation part, obviously, is just, as you were saying before with your community. As humans, we all need communities. We try to create one here that makes people want to, get amongst people in and around fitness, which is great. It doesn't matter. Once again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're doing more cardio-based sessions, but like we're doing today, with varying times, so nothing's ever the same. And then Tuesday and Thursday are our strength days. So not as high-paced as our cardio days are, but then you're able to do more weight work with things like bars, kettlebells, dumbbells, TRX training,
like circuit training. It's more everything here is it's considered a high intensity impact training, so it's a HIIT class studio here, but the way they just break it up there and they add a little more resistance to it. But even though with the resistance, like what I dealt with last night as the day before recording this video, that you do still burn a lot of fat and you burn a lot of cardio. You get your heart rate up. It's still cardio, but you just add the resistance part of it to get you the cardio going. And also another thing to add motivation to, they have like a nice little sound system here. It looks like you're in a nightclub. They have some JBL Pro speakers that you would see in a nightclub or in a studio or whatever, and they pump the music loud. They have a professional audio system here, and they do the F45 radio, which has great music on it, including Brooke Evers' songs on there and all that stuff. I'm sure she's DJ'd for them once or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all about the motivation, and it just keeps it fresh. And what would one say, like, you come to one class and let's say, okay, that's your class you're going, like, say today is a cardio based class, so you just come here every week, but then after a couple of weeks you're just like, I want to try something different, but I still want to do the cardio focus class. How often do you recycle classes, or how many offerings do you have?
Yeah, so we do, we always split it into, it's either 8 to 10 week blocks, normally 10 weeks I think is what we work it out as. And what that means is where we have our specific classes on each day. So the theme's always the same in terms of whether it's cardio Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or strength on Tuesday and Thursday. What changes is the format of those cardio workouts. So today's workout, for example, is a Tabata style workout where it's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. So really, really short, sharp, lots of sets, but once again, because they're short, it makes it a lot more manageable. And then after this block, when we move to our next block, we'll be going with a different workout that's longer. It's 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. So that way, by the time you get to the end of those 8 weeks of getting used to a class, we flip it up and you do something a little bit different. So
Yeah, that's what keeps you motivated too, because you never know what's going to come around the corner. After you get settled in, you're like, okay, I'm about to get tired of this. Then suddenly you come back, you go to the next class, thinking it's the same thing. Then you see, wait, you look on one of the screen boards, you're like, this is a whole new class. Or even when you sign up, usually through the app, which we'll get to and touch base with, but you schedule your classes, so it's on your schedule. So, and then you can sync your classes to your scheduling from the F45 Training app to your personal calendar on your phone, so that way you can send reminders to yourself. So I know that, going back to this piece of paper here, that besides the training, the personal attention, and the music and all that stuff that you have here, we also have this thing called InBody. It's a body tester. It tests your body composition analysis. So, excuse me. As you may have saw it, I'll probably insert a little clip of video here of Ben actually helping me out and taking my body test composition. I haven't done it for a while, and so I think this is my third one. So basically, I'm not going to reveal too much, because it is kind of personal. But I am overweight, and I do need to lose weight. Unfortunately, I had a sedentary job for almost 9 years that it just, it was over 13-hour days, so I didn't want to do anything even to drive home from work, even because it was a driving-based job. But now that I'm more able, I have more of a 9 to 5 kind of job, an 8-hour shift. I could come here even though it's still standing on my feet. And that's one good thing about this class is that when I first got that job, I've always was already involved in this F45 training for a little bit off and on here as my training class, and then I got that new job. I had to settle into that, but it's a standing job all 8 hours, and then now I'm able to tolerate the standing. So, and also my imposture has improved a little bit. But basically, why don't you go ahead and grab this and just explain some of what the in-body composition testings do and to help you for your progress.
Yeah, so we offer in-bodies for anyone who gets started with us. So once again, the way that people get started here is they'll come and take up our new 7 days for $20 offer to come and do a bit of training. And then once again, from there, when people begin a membership with us, we do a free in-body analysis for them first. So the in-body machine that we have is the in-body 570. It's able to tell us exactly how much body fat you have, how much muscle you have, what your water retention's like, and also your structure balance. So we can kind of see if you're, maybe you need to increase, for example, your leg muscle, your lower body over your upper body. Normally we find most people are dominant in one or the other, and it just gives us a guide while they're training to be able to know what they're going to be working on. The in-body works off what's called bioimpedance. So electrical bioimpedance, which is similar like you've seen of any of the scales where you hold the
metal
plate.
Contacts, yeah.
So one of those is still using bioimpedance, but you only get one frequency. So it only has a certain amount, then it has to assume the rest of what your makeup is.
Yeah.
So it's unable to tell you everything exactly. When you have, when you're using an in-body machine, you have 3 different levels of bioimpedance, which means the machine doesn't have to assume anything. That's normally why when you're using a normal machine, you've got to put in things like height, weight, and all of that in there, because it has to do an assumption as well. With an in-body, it doesn't have to make an assumption to kind of give us.
That's like what you see a lot of those fitness influencers out there on IG. They take the body weights of them. They always take videos of them, whether it be for their YouTube channel or Instagram or what have you. And they always take them measuring. They have all these stuff, and they even like the fit scale, and it tells you how much water and muscle mass they have. Those are not always accurate because they don't measure the full body, because you can't do anything just through the feet.
Yeah, correct. And one of the hardest things with it too is also the timing of a test. So you need to always test at the same time. You always need to be as empty as possible. So you need to go to the bathroom first. And also,
we'll cut that out.
So that way then you're at least the most standard, so you can then reproduce a test that's going to be at the same time, you know, that you can really compare to, because there's a lot of fluctuations that can happen within your body.
Yeah. So go ahead and just read a couple of those.
Yeah, look, so pretty much while you won't be able to see the intricate kind of details on this, and we wouldn't share them obviously because once again it's Eric's personal information, but what we have kind of working our way down, it does tell us things like overall body weight. Once again, the thing is the scale still, but then the main things it'll tell us your skeletal muscle mass. Underneath that it'll tell us your body fat mass, so it tells us how much muscle you have, how much body fat you have. One thing that Eric won't mind me telling you is that he's actually put on 2 pounds of muscle since his last scan. So once again, that's great because that means that he's going to naturally be burning more calories now to support that extra muscle. So once again, that's a great result on there. It also tells us BMI, which once again isn't the greatest thing because if you look at BMI, LeBron James is overweight, you know, and all the rest.
Yeah, BMI index needs to be updated. It's a really outdated thing from I think the 70s or something like that.
Yeah. Before they had the technology to kind of know anything further. Gives us your percentage of body fat. Percentage of body fat always important, but then at the same time, we don't get too caught up in it. And the reason for that, as we explain to all of our people here, is if you're going off your percentage of body fat, if you were to say not change your body fat at all, but add 5 pounds of muscle, your body fat percentage comes down, even if you haven't lost any fat. Because you've got to look at it as a percentage. So in the same way, Eric, you would never look at your bank account as a percentage of your debt versus your credit. You look at what the actual numbers are, if you've got them. So that's why we kind of explain
bringing in financials into it. Yeah, that's my other job.
Everyone knows that.
Thurow financial. Yeah, that's my other job.
That's it. So it gives us percentage of body fat. You've got your lean analysis. So this is the part where it gives us your structural balance, gives us water retention down the bottom, and it also tells us things like visceral fat level, which is very important for health to have that as low as we possibly can. And then also your basal metabolic rate, so how many calories you're going to burn at rest every day before any exercise.
And people don't realize that you burn a lot of calories while you sleep too, because your metabolic fuel system, like your furnace, is at work then. So basically that's it. What could we say? Private. What could you say just as we could close up this little sit down? How do people go and check out, whether it be here, if you're here watching this video in Northern California in the San Jose metropolitan area, or if you're anywhere else where there's an F45 training facility, how can one go about?
Look, the easiest way is to go onto the computer or your phone, type in F45training.com, and then it'll literally come up straight away with Find a Studio. You go into there, if you've got your location on your computer, laptop, phone, it's probably going to tell you what's closest to you and how many miles away it is. Yep. So that way you can actually see what your closest studio is. Once you go through that, you'll be able to find, once again, studios have different offers for introduction. Here we're doing 7 days for $20 at the moment. Once again, to come and do as many classes as you like on there.
Yeah, and one of the newest studios they just opened up is downtown Los Angeles on Grand. I know because Dylan Ray from One Up Nutrition is actually one of the main trainers there in the class. He got hired there for the morning studio, so shout out to Dylan Ray there. Just go check it out. If you want information directly to this particular studio, just go to f45northsunnyvale.com. I actually, as a gift, I got that domain so I can help you out. I mean, just go directly, and it takes you to the longer version of the domain. It's just a Web 40 as I'm losing my voice because I know I'm getting ready to start to work out. So we had to cut this short, but yeah, that's my lifestyle change. Ben's as a key, and also Ryan. I thought he might try to sneak in and do a video bomb and whatever. But Ben's a key help to my getting exercise, and as you probably will see on IG that I've done stuff with Evagen and which is in Campbell, and also Nutrition Palace, which is a nutrition shop. I'll be having them on the channel too pretty soon because that's all keys, to help him to progress and get healthy and to eat a better and more healthy round meals, and also to smaller portions and more meals. That way you can keep your furnace going and help burn that fat, and that's what we need. So I want to thank you, Ben, for being on the show.
No worries.
Or a show or the vlog. It's not really a show, but it turned into a show today. But okay, so now it's time for me to cut my ass out of here and get to work.